What's up, Brew Crew? I'm at True North Ale Company in Ipswich, Massachusetts. I'm gonna sit down with a co-founder and the head brewer today, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna try some brews. Welcome to Beer Time. We're in Ipswich, Massachusetts at True North Ale Company. I'm with head brewer here, Seth, and co-founder, Gary. And we're gonna talk about some of your core beers. And thanks for having me. And I'm excited.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, excited to get this going. What do we got first here, Gary?
Well, we have Cerveza, our Mexican lager. I'm gonna let Seth talk a little bit about what went into it. But just to give you a little bit of background, it's one of our core beers. We brought it out day one back in 2017, along with three other beers that are still all with us and still selling well. And Mexican lager, it's light, it's crisp, it's 4.3 ABV. It's just a fabulous beer. When we were, 2 months old, Seth, you put it into competition, the New York International Beer Competition, which I knew nothing about. And there are competitions, and we thought, okay, we'll try one and see what happens. And we got a silver medal.
Awesome.
So it's a good beer. It's a great beer. And Seth, tell a little bit about what went into it, because it's.
Yeah, let's crack these and get them going.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, so this is Mexican lager. It's fermented with Mexican lager yeast from the Modelo Brewery in Mexico. We use domestic Pilsner and flake corn in this beer for a little bit of subtle sweetness, and then it's hopped with El Dorado hops for a little bit of fruitiness and an herbal finish on it.
All right.
And people ask, why is it a Mexican lager? And obviously it's the yeast that makes it a Mexican lager, the Modelo yeast. But flaked maize, El Dorado hops, that sounds Spanish too. So,
That's nice. That's some great balance.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can, that malt kind of in some lagers overpowers at the end, but this is that's crisp all the way through.
Yeah.
That's great. Awesome. So Seth, how did you get into brewing?
I got into brewing, I was in college, and I was walking by a homebrew store at one point and thought, oh, that sounds fun. Went in, bought a kit, and the rest is history, so.
Nice. What was that?
Carried away.
Did you have the a aha moment, or when you actually, brewed that first batch, or oh, I can drink this, or did you just nail it on the first go?
No, it's the opposite actually. I think the first couple of batches you get so focused on how can I make this better. Because the first couple of batches usually for most home brewers is not the greatest tasting beer in the world. Just focusing on the science of the process, getting a little bit better each time. You get carried away, and suddenly it's your career.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how did this turn into your career, Gary?
Well, it's my son's fault, really. But I started home brewing 34 years ago.
Okay.
So before Seth was born, and I started out trying to figure it out. They had just not too many years before had changed the law, so you could actually legally brew at home. And so got the ingredients, started brewing, did it for all those years, and I took a hiatus when I was in Europe. I lived in Europe for almost 4 years. And at that point, it really opened my eyes, going to Belgium, going to Germany, the amazing beers that are over there, Czech Republic. Yeah. And you start seeing things that say, holy shit, this is unbelievable. Then when I came back, craft brewing had taken off.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're seeing IPAs and things that I hadn't been brewing back in the early 80s. So it was just fun for me to get into it and do more and more.
All right, looks like we're doing a blonde.
Go ahead, can you pronounce it?
Yeah. Vinciane. Or
almost, it's not Italian.
Is it Vinciane?
It's a Belgian, so it's Vinciane.
No. Okay. All right.
Vinciane.
All right.
So I'll tell you where the name came from, because some people may find that interesting. I mentioned we'd lived in Europe for a few years, and when my son Jake and my son Grant were going to the international school in southern France, they became friends with this Belgian family, and they had 3 girls about the same age as my 2 boys, so we became friends with the family. The mom's name was Vinciane, and she's Belgian and blonde. So it was a no-brainer to call it a
That's
Belgian
easy.
blonde. So cheers.
Cheers, guys. Yeah.
When this place was being built, we were doing all our test batches at my house. So Seth was brewing on a 10-gallon system that my son had built, and we were trying to refine a Belgian blonde recipe. Tell them about the yeast experiment.
Yeah. So at Gary's house, we have a converted half-barrel keg brewing setup, so we could brew 10 gallons of wort at a given go. Usually we were splitting those into 2.5 carboys and doing different yeast experiments, but when it came to brew Vincian, it's such a yeast-driven beer. The yeast is such a huge component of the quality of the beer. We decided we should, try all the available Belgian strains that we could get our hands on. So we split 10 gallons 6 ways. I think we ended up using 6 different strains.
6 different strains. Wow. It was great going through. So he did the whole thing. He fermented it, packaged it into kegs. So we had 6 different kegs and carbonated it, and then started the taste testing. So we'd have people over, back when you could do that. We went through multiple iterations of people, and then eliminate that one, and it came down to 2, right?
Yeah. It was this strain. So this is the Ardennes strain from Brasserie Chouf in the Ardennes region in Belgium, and it was this strain and the Westmalle strain.
Yeah.
So
It's
this one won out.
again, just like the cerveza, you can. After you say it, I can tell you guys went through a lot of tests because it's so evenly balanced. There's nothing. I don't really find anything that's overpowering anything else. And this is nice. It's kind of like I taste in the beginning, and then there's almost that little bit of a peppery finish, which is great.
So I mentioned before about cerveza going into a competition. The biggest competition in the world of brewing is the World Beer Cup. And the 2018 World Beer Cup, Seth brewed for that, put beers into competition. That was in, I guess we set the beers in March or April of 2018.
Yeah, March.
And so we were, 4 or 5 months old, when we, put the beer into the competition. We were down in Nashville at the award ceremony, and they come up to the 83rd category or whatever, and we were schnockered by the time that came around, because we had a beer pairing dinner. There were 5,000 people in this enormous conference room, and it was. We weren't even paying attention, and suddenly they're talking about the Belgian blonde, Belgian pale ale category. Oh, wait a minute, we've got an entry in this. Maybe we should pay attention. And the next thing you know, they go and they do it in reverse order. They do the 3rd place, the bronze, the silver, and okay, we've got nothing. We're starting to drink again. And next thing I hear is Vincian, True North Ale Company. So holy shit, I'm shocked. And, it hit me, and I'm just shocked. A guy next to me from South Africa is looking at me and goes, "Hey,
That's you guys.
that's you."
I think he won.
And I said, "Oh, yeah." So I stand up, I look over, Seth and Jake are sitting there at the table, and they're going,
Why do I know that name? Why
Why
does that sound so familiar?
And I said, "Hey, we gotta go." And you have to go up on the stage, get your picture taken off. So, gold award at the 2018 World Beer Cup when we were 5 months old.
That's
And there was
incredible.
1 brewery in Massachusetts that got a gold, 2 in all of New England that got a gold.
That's
the
amazing.
The second place, the silver, went to a brewery from the Netherlands. We beat all the Belgians.
That's wild.
This is a big deal.
And
Cheers.
cheers. I'll cheers to that. Yeah, for sure. Well done, sir. So this is the flagship.
Yeah, let's do
Here
it.
we are.
Northern Haze. So when we started with our core brands in November of 2017, we had 2 IPAs, and then we had the cerveza and the Vincian that we had just tasted. We did not have a middle ground IPA. We had a session IPA, North Shore Session IPA at 4.7 ABV, Mosaic hops, beautiful beer.
Yeah.
And then we had our big double IPA, Squared, 8.2 ABV. So those 2 beers were where we were playing And at that point, and it was interesting to me because I checked with the BA, the Brewers Association, we were the first hazy, juicy New England style session IPA that was in the market at that point.
Huh.
And I remember there was a couple of months later, we had come out in November, and one of the other Massachusetts breweries actually had on their labels that they were the first. And they have the same distributor as us. And I said, hey, what's
take that
with
off
this?
your freaking can.
and the distributor said, I was in a meeting out there, and they put this on, and I said, no. You weren't. You missed it by 2 months. So that was interesting. But I talked with Seth about this, after a couple of months, and I said, okay, we purposefully said we're not going to go into that crowded IPA market until we get some traction in the less crowded double in session market, and but then we're going to come out with something. So
Interesting.
Seth did a test batch in late winter that we brought out just for the tap room there.
Yeah.
And people were just raving about it. It was phenomenal. And I'm sitting here one time with Seth, and I said, so what do you think? And he goes, nah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change that. Okay, all right. So then another test batch on the small system brings that out. People are going crazy. It's even better. And I said, so Seth, what do you think? People are going nuts about it. He goes, no, I'm going to do it. I said, Seth, we got to get it on the big system. Next one, let's go to the big system with it. And he hit a freaking home run with it, and it has not stopped.
Awesome.
It's so Northern Haze, 6.7 ABV.
When I think of New England IPAs, I think orange juice. or mimosa.
Yep.
That look.
Yeah, it's mostly American varietals. So like a lot of hazy, juicy IPAs out there. It's Citra Mosaic Amarillo, and then we also use a varietal from Australia called Topaz.
Okay, I think that's what I'm tasting right now. That's something that I haven't experienced.
Yeah.
Which is because like a lot of times those when you get those juicy IPAs, they hit you hard with that citrus, which almost replaces the bitter of an IPA. And this kind of, I think that Australian hop is kind of overtaking that,
like
which
grapefruit.
It almost smooths it in a sense where there isn't a lot of much of a citrus bite that you would expect. Thanks for letting me try your
from a distance.
Thing. And we'll catch you guys next time on Beer Time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.